Peace, family. This is a little change of pace. Um, WrestleMania was, I believe, Sunday, and I'm a big wrestling fan. Been a wrestling fan, you know, since my father was alive. I used to watch it with him, and I've watched it over the years. I've watched it pretty consistently. I would say you go through times when you get into wrestling where sometimes you watch it all the time, and then sometimes you leave it alone, depending. But I would say about I've been a wrestling fan watching the content maybe about 80% of the time. There have been stretches where I left it alone because the product just wasn't up to par. But the WWE, especially, always reinvents itself. Like it always finds a way to put its finger on the pulse of the vibe of the time and create a character that people can connect with. That's where the Stone Colds come from, and the Rock, and you know, the Undertaker, and all of these iconic characters. But what I wanted to talk about um, today is the IWC, which is the Internet Wrestling Community, and Smarks. And in wrestling, for those who don't know, a mark is someone who basically believes in the stories, believes in these characters, believes that this stuff is real. Vince McMahon changed it from the WWF to the WWE because he's looking at it as entertainment. It's sports entertainment. It's not the same as the UFC or a boxing match. It's sports entertainment, and and it's more entertainment than it is sport. And I mean, ultimately, because we're not talking about a competition where two guys are really going at each other to hurt each other. We're talking about two guys dancing with each other and creating a story to entertain the crowd. So when people say, "Oh, wrestling is fake," it's almost like saying, "Oh, Star Wars is fake." Oh man, the Avengers is fake. Duh. I mean, it's entertainment. These people aren't real. So I just want to say that, as a precursor to what I'm about to get into. But a smart is someone who has knowledge of the inner workings of the wrestling business, but they're still fans. And these people are like a freaking virus, like a disease. I don't really have much, because I don't define myself as that. Even though I know something about the inner workings of it, I don't define myself as a smart, and I don't stand over it looking that way at the product. I'm still a fan. I'm a fan of the product. When something is not working right, I have the ability to know when it's not working right. But for the most part, I accept the product for what it is. I don't get outraged. Like I don't personally like John Cena's character. I used to like him when he was the rapper. I thought he was hilarious, and I wish that he would go back to that. But the John Cena now that's for the kids and Mr. Motivational and all that, I can't stand him. His character sucks, and that's the reason why um, he gets booed. But him as a person, I don't have an issue with. Even his character, I don't really have an issue with. I'm not particularly fond of it, but I don't hate it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this from the perspective of a fan, somebody who knows that this is entertainment. It's not a mark, and also not a smart. You know. But I wanted to touch on Roman Reigns. Um, I just find the whole, when John Cena gets booed, John Cena is a seasoned veteran now. He's an expert at handling the crowd, and it doesn't really seem to affect him. You know what I'm saying? Like he truly understands that this is all entertainment. They come and they express themselves. It doesn't matter whether you boo somebody or you cheer someone. It's just getting a reaction from them. If you have the ability to get a reaction from them, then you're doing your job. Because the fans have turned on The Rock before. When The Rock was a good guy, they eventually got bored with him being good and started booing him. So what did The Rock do? He said, "Okay, you're gonna boo me. This is what I'm gonna do." And then he turned his character into, Hollywood Rock. You know what I'm saying? The Hollywood version where he was just like a snob and basically an egotistical douchebag. And the people loved him. So this crowd is kind of funny in what they respond to. Um, but the reason why I bring up John Cena is because when John Cena gets booed, like I said, he's a seasoned veteran, he's a professional, he knows how to handle it. But when I see Roman Reigns getting booed, it bothers me. It just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. If there's somebody out there that feels that way, because the dude is a young dude. He's The Rock's cousin, in case nobody knew that. He's Dwayne Johnson's cousin. He comes from a long lineage of Samoan wrestlers. Like, he's in that family. The Usos are related to him, and you know he's a very he's not a technical wrestler. Like, he's not on the same level as, let's say, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is very athletic, a lot of technical skills. Dean Ambrose, who I'm not as big a fan as Dean Ambrose as everybody else is. I don't know. It's just something about his character just doesn't do it for me. Like, it's a little bit too forced for me. Although I like him. He's cut a lot of stuff that I like, and I like his personality, his wrestling ability, and everything. But in terms of as an overall personality, he's not, my cup of tea exactly. I'm not really connecting with him that way. Um, but Roman Reigns has something. And I believe that that's the reason why he's getting such a strong reaction from the fans. Now, there's a whole history behind why he's getting booed the way he is, but the two factors are the CM Punk interview, because CM Punk mentioned, and CM Punk kind of threw him under the bus. He kind of dry snitched, like in the ghetto, in the streets, we call it dry snitching. You know, he brought up some scenario with the WWE where he said people kept coming up to him and said, "You got to make Reigns look strong. You got to make Reigns look strong." So that's what the Smarks have taken and run with. So you keep hearing them say that because the Smarks are like a hive mentality. What happens is once somebody um, puts something out there and it catches steam, then they all just join together. It's just like Cena. It's popular and it's cool to hate John Cena. Because if you hate John Cena represents what the WWE corporate wants. So you want to go against that because then it makes you look cool. And so they are presenting Roman Reigns as John Cena Part 2. And that's the reason why he's getting so much hatred. That plus the CM Punk interview, when CM Punk mentioned him and said that the WWE kept coming to him saying, you got to make Roman Reigns look strong. You got to make Roman Reigns look strong. And then on top of that, the debacle that happened at the Royal Rumble, where they basically pissed the fans off by eliminating Daniel Bryan early. And the way that they booked that Royal Rumble was just so freaking horrible, man. And like I said, we can all agree on that. I think that we all agree, even the people that are pro Roman Reigns and the people that are anti Roman Reigns, all agree that the Royal Rumble was a piece of shit. It was in a horribly booked match. But I just feel bad for Roman Reigns because he's a young kid. He's not that experienced in the business. And this kind of stuff, this type of hatred could actually crush this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm already saying, all right, the way that the fans are reacting, what do they do with him? You already had him in a match with Brock Lesnar, where Brock Lesnar basically the majority of the match destroyed him. So you kind of take away his badass, aura when you have Brock Lesnar do that. And I'm kind of confused as to why. I mean, a lot of people said they liked that match. I didn't particularly like the way that they handled Reigns in that match because it kind of buried Reigns' whole mystique and his whole aura. And then you make Brock Lesnar to be this unbeatable monster. If Roman Reigns can't deal with Brock Lesnar, the Big Show, Kane can't deal with Brock Lesnar. I doubt very seriously Ryback doesn't seem like he's ready. Who else? So Brock Lesnar is just going to be undefeated, or just somebody's got to be able to pin this dude and beat him. Somebody. So I just didn't like the way that they did that. They could have made Reigns look stronger, because Reigns looking stronger and that character looking stronger, to me, helps the WWE. Because what they lack in the WWE is someone with sort of like that sheriff, like what the Undertaker used to be. The Undertaker used to be the guy who ran the yard. He was the guy who had the most respect, and he was a guy who feared no one. He was like the sheriff, the enforcer of the WWE. Roman Reigns could fit that character, and I believe in his early work with the Shield, I like the way that they handled the character. Oh, there's another thing that messed him up. At some point in his character development, they decided to make him do some, decided to make him, I don't know what it was. It wasn't really kid friendly or baby face. I don't know what they did, but he started, cracking jokes and winking at the camera and doing all of this crazy stuff. I'm like, what are you talking? What is the matter with you guys? How did this guy get popular to begin with? Because when he was with the Shield, he was the most popular member of the Shield. People can talk all the crap that they want to. We all know that Seth Rollins is a better wrestler. We all know that Dean Ambrose is a better wrestler, technically. But nobody can argue that Roman Reigns wasn't the most over member in the Shield when the Shield was in its heyday. He was the most over member. Now, if you don't admit that, then you're just straight up lying. You're disingenuous. Nobody can believe anything that you say. So that's the thing. He was popular, and he was popular for a reason. His move set hasn't really changed. He was doing the same moves when he was in the Shield that he's doing as a solo competitor. So what's the problem? The problem is the WWE and how they handle him. And also a problem could be just him as his youth and his inexperience. He's not seasoned enough to handle where they have him at right now. And that's totally cool. I agree with a lot of people who say that. What I don't agree with is the hatred. I just don't understand the hatred of this dude. When just a hot minute ago you were cheering him. When the Royal Rumble happened and Batista won, you guys were livid. You thought that Reigns should have won. Now all of a sudden a year later Reigns wins, and now all of a sudden everybody's pissed off. But like I said, it has to do with the booking. It has to do with how they handled his character. And it has to do with that CM Punk interview, because it gave the Smarks a chance to pat themselves on the back because they have inside information and make it look cool to disrespect or to put down Roman Reigns. And I just think that they're hypocritical. I think they're full of shit. And I think that if they don't, hopefully that they don't ruin this young man's career. Because I was looking at Raw after the WrestleMania, and I'm looking and they just booing this dude relentlessly. He comes into the ring, and one thing I will say, he goes and he does his job. He tries not to let it affect him, but you can tell that shit hurts. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing about it is they booed Rocky. When Rocky first came out and they tried to make Rocky into a baby face, they hated Rocky's guts. They used to say, die, Rocky, die. I mean, it was really brutal. And then he joined the Nation, and then he became The Rock. And after that, they loved him. So my advice to Roman Reigns, people are saying, well, he should turn heel. No, I don't think he should turn heel. What I think he should do, or what the WWE creative should do, is utilize him the way that he was utilized in the very beginning. Roman Reigns didn't say a lot, but what he said counted. Same as The Undertaker. You know what I'm saying? That same type badass personality. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? They need to, like that confrontation before WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar pissed me the hell off. Another thing that was handled poorly, with them doing a tug of war with the championship belt. That was bullshit. When Roman Reigns came out the stands, the first thing Roman Reigns should have did was get right in Brock Lesnar's face. You got to establish this guy as a tough guy, as a badass, somebody who's scared of no one. You have him go in there and get destroyed by Brock Lesnar, then what do you do with the character now? So now, oh well, Roman Reigns is bad, but he can't beat Brock Lesnar. So who's? I mean, come on, it makes no sense. But I just wanted to, speak on that. I support Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns has a good look. He has charisma, because if he didn't have charisma, nobody would even be paying attention to him. So he's got the charisma. It's just like with Rocky. Rocky had the charisma, but people wasn't feeling his character. John Cena has the charisma, but nobody's feeling the character. So I hope that they can define this character, because I really see this character as an Undertaker type, enforcer type character. That's the way I see Roman Reigns. Everybody talks about his mic skills. What's the Undertaker's mic skills? The Undertaker never had no great mic skills. He didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? What's the great memorable Undertaker promo that you saw get cut? It's basically the same. I'm going to do this, da da da, and you will rest in peace, blah blah blah. And don't get me wrong, I love The Undertaker. The Undertaker is probably my favorite WWE character of all times. But what I'm saying is, this character that Roman Reigns is could be the same character that he was in The Shield, the enforcer, the guy who speaks very little and does a whole lot with his actions. You know what I'm saying? So I personally think that they should have him step to Brock Lesnar on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, him and Brock Lesnar he really needs to put it on Brock Lesnar's ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to reestablish Roman Reigns as the type of character and the type of badass that he is. Because if you don't, it's not much you can do with him. Because now it's like these baby faces that the audience like, or the Smarks like, are taking over. And listen, I love Dolph Ziggler. Love him. Great performer, great wrestler. Lacking the charisma part in the mic stuff. Lacking. Like Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, I have no problem with. Actually, I don't. I have no problem with. My only thing is, if you have Daniel Bryan go against Brock Lesnar, how is that believable that he can actually beat Brock Lesnar? The way that you built up Brock Lesnar to be this monster. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that roster and you see the people, you're not going to have Kane, because Kane is, come on, he's a staple there. He's not going to be the hot guy anytime soon. He's just there. Big Show is just there. You got to have these young up-and-coming guys that can go against the Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns is the guy to do it. So I think that they should really develop that feud with him and Brock. That'd be a way to build him back up. And don't let him be a goddamn baby face. Don't let him come coming through the crowd, slapping people five, smiling and winking. Let him be straightforward. This is the guy whose ass I got to kick. Let me go and kick it. Anyway, that's all I had to say. And I guess that's it. And I'll holler at you good people later. Peace.